Hey there, welcome to day 1235 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and I specifically picked crazy blue sparkly eyes to go with our topic today, which is the modeling secret formula. Not me, not physically modeling, not modeling fashion or things, but modeling behaviors, modeling things that we learned, lessons learned, modeling, learning from other people that are good examples for what we want to achieve, and then turning around and becoming the good example ourselves. Well, our idiom for today for Supersize Your Business was to take a leaf or a page out of something. So I had the secret formula book, and I ripped the page for the secret formula for modeling out of it. And I've never thought about this specifically, or I don't remember consciously thinking about it lately, at least not in the last decade or so. But modeling and being an example, there's a formula for doing that. There's a formula for learning things, which modeling is just observational learning. We model things by observing them. And then we also, sometimes we actually create physical models or prototypes or plans or blueprints. They're all forms of models. Or 3D printers now can model and create all kinds of things. So what is the secret formula for modeling? I might as well share that here too. It's attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. And when you add those things together, we have the key components of observational learning or modeling. We have the key components of how do we do it, as well as how do we be an example, a good example for people. So that was our example today. And I wanted to talk about that because this idiom actually, literally it means tearing a page out of something like a magazine or a book. If you've ever been to the library and you're reading along and all of a sudden the page you need is missing from a book, super frustrating. Or magazine, doctor's office, car dealership or car service department, sitting there getting your oil changed and you're reading along and you want to find the absolute secret component of something, and lo and behold, that page is missing. Super frustrating. But that's what it means literally, but figuratively, it's not that nefarious. It's not that bad. It means to copy and learn from or model other people, places, things, or resources, right? And aren't we all just a conglomeration of all of the experiences we've had, all the people we've been in contact with, all of the teachers, the coaches, the friends, family, everything. We're all just a conglomeration of everything we've experienced, and we keep the parts that work for us, and that's how we become who we are. Is we keep what works for us, and we let go of the rest, or we try to take the least amount of flack or damage from the stuff that isn't awesome about us, because we are all human. We all have really strong characteristics and strong attributes in some areas, and then we kind of stink in other areas. It's just part of being human. So I thought that was an interesting model and an interesting formula that I really hadn't thought about until yesterday when I researched it. I thought, well, how do we learn? How do we become who we are? I'm hanging out with my 4-month-old granddaughter, and we realized that, we're not born learning how or knowing how to do anything. She's learning how to roll over and stand up on her legs, but, just stand up and crawl. And it's interesting to watch the process because, I'm old and I forget about it, but you don't just decide one day you're going to crawl and then all of a sudden you crawl. It's a daily effort and practice and learning and observing and modeling. Now, it's hard to learn how to crawl. I think it's almost harder to learn how to crawl than walk for kids unless they're around other kids, because everybody around her, everyone is walking, and so she has this huge desire to stand up on her feet and be held up on her feet and be, vertical instead of horizontal. And so now I'm making sure every day that we have some tummy time so she can practice crawling around with her. I'd love to have a camera to see that craziness. But that's how we learn, is by observing other people. And so I want to make sure she learns to crawl. Our idiom, or not our idiom, our challenge for our annual challenge this year, to do one thing every day that centers us, was about blank canvas and throwing as much paint in it as possibly can. So I grabbed my granddaughter's new 6-pack of canvases, because we're doing projects this summer, of course, her and her dad and I. And so it was a good one. I thought, that is a really interesting way of looking at it. We always hear, take an empty book and fill it, write the story of your life, because we can do, that's our job. Our job is to create our life how we want it to be. And the same is true of taking a blank canvas. They're great analogies to help, or metaphors to help us see that we really have a lot more power in how our life turns out and how we react and respond to things than we give ourselves credit for a lot. A lot of times it's easier to blame and bitch and moan and complain about stuff than it is to actually take personal responsibility and say, okay, well, that happened. So what? I might have overreacted. So what? Why don't I learn from that mistake and then not do it again? Or I'm going to find myself overreacting again and again and again and again ad nauseum, because nobody wants to be around anybody that overreacts all the time. At least I don't. And I know that we get the opportunity to create and be whoever and whatever we want to be. But we need those reminders, those constant reminders. So, thinking about very much, not thinking about very often, as I'm hanging out with the granddaughters for a couple of weeks, the next Get Up and Go Challenge, August 1st, going to hold off till August 1st. I don't know if I can, because I'm really missing doing it, but I'm going to hold off till August 1st for the next 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge, and going to have some fun, unique twists about that. So as my granddaughter is creating, and my granddaughter wants to create a line of toy products, which I think is fantastic. So she's brainstorming. She's 6, by the way. She just turned 6. She's brainstorming all and drawing out prototypes and coming up with what she wants this line of toys to be like. And it's really fun to watch her go through that process. And I am totally going to encourage it, because I think she's got an amazing mind, and I want to make sure that that amazing creativity doesn't get squashed out of her, as soon as possible now that she's in the school system. So that's it. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. I offer that, and this is one of those blocks of time where I don't have a lot of time, so catch me and I will help you ASAP. I might not be the resource that you exactly need, but I guarantee I can hook you up with somebody that is, or something that will help you do what's next. Sometimes we just get stuck on, well, what is the next thing I need to do? And we worry about all the 100 things or 1,000 things or million things we need to do actually to get to our end goal and objective. And we forget that we don't have to do those million things. We don't have to do those 10 things. We don't have to do those 5 things even. We just have to take the next step toward what it is that we want. And I like to consider myself a master at taking that next step, knowing what that next step is, and helping myself and other people to take that next step so we never feel stuck. Now, does it mean sometimes we're not going to take the wrong next step? Of course we are. We're not always going to do the right thing. Or the exact right next step for ourselves. That's how we learn. That's how the universe tests us to find out if we're serious or not. Because a lot of people say they want something, but they really don't. Me included. There's things I say that I want, but if I'm being 100% honest with myself, if I really wanted it, I would have had it already. So do I really want a Lamborghini? No. I've said for decades that I want a Lamborghini. But do I really want a Lamborghini? No. Because if I wanted a Lamborghini, I would have a Lamborghini. So, especially now you can't see to drive, I definitely don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want somebody driving me around in a Lamborghini. That would just be lame. Doesn't mean I won't take a ride in one and go to a racetrack or something or have fun, but I'm not ever going to get a Lamborghini as much as I think or thought that I wanted a Lamborghini. I think that's a pretty good example of what I'm talking about. All right, have an awesome day. I will, of course, be see you tomorrow. I'm going to go check on that baby. She's sleeping through my videos this week so far, and so I'm super happy about that. Have a great day.